The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw Dating, preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, Nicole Hutchison, and Jess Navarez.
Happy Thursday, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison. Damn, we all got the giggles already.
I don't got them.
You started it.
I held it in.
It's all right. All right, you can turn around, Juanyeh. You look
There
like
we go.
you're struggling.
Oh, he didn't know the cue. He would just.
It's okay. It's all right.
That's all right.
Oh,
go.
Here we go. We got Aisha Morrison, we got Jess Navarez, and we got
Juanyeh Thomas.
the Juanyeh.
I guess
Our
I'll
resident
introduce him.
co-host.
I guess I'll introduce
Co-host.
him.
Yeah,
Juanyeh Thomas.
yeah,
in
you're
the
pretty
building.
much a co-host at this point.
How you doing, man? You good?
I'm doing good, just chilling for real, vibing, enjoying my time off.
Yeah.
So
Good.
Yep, as you should.
Very good. Yes.
Well, I guess I'll just kick things off. I know that now you've had some time to kind of reflect on the season, reflect on the loss to Green Bay. What are your thoughts on just how the season kind of played out?
I feel like overall it was a great season. Obviously, it wasn't the outcome that we wanted coming into the playoffs, and obviously we didn't think, and that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like as a whole, I feel like we had a great season. We did what we had to do to get to where we wanted to go, but we didn't accomplish the goal. So,
Is there anything that you wish that y'all could have done differently?
I mean, you can sit here and talk about, oh, I wish I would have done this. I feel like we had the game plan.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like Green Bay got the
They had an answer
better half of it. So,
everything.
yeah.
Big
So,
dog.
I mean, that's really it for real.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I can keep
Oh, yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
I was waiting for you.
I didn't want to just
Why?
take over.
I'm telling the Twitter people that we're live now.
Okay.
I just
Oh,
didn't wanna
good.
take y'all got it.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Second year. What's the biggest lesson that you learned out of the entire season? Biggest lesson from year 1 to year 2 that you can now take into year 3?
I will put myself I would consider myself last year, my rookie year, I'll consider myself as a bystander. So now actually playing now, what I learned from week to week actually playing is you have to be consistent every week, because it doesn't matter who you go against. Like, you better, you know what I'm saying, bring your game for real. So I feel like really learning how to be consistent, having a process, really that for real.
Yeah, I
good
mean,
one.
when you bring up, not being a bystander, I love the way that you put it. But since you're no longer a bystander, and even with how the season ended and stuff, going into the next season, how important is it for you to shore up your leadership and to kind of
Yeah.
take on that role? Because,
Yeah.
you come in, and then last year you got more reps, you got
Right.
more time. Now you know what's up.
Yeah.
Now people know what your tape is like, right?
Facts.
So it's like,
Facts.
how do you adjust to going into the next season and taking on that new role?
I got to be better. I'm not saying I was bad, but I got to
okay.
be better. I gotta elevate my game to the next level, because once I do start to play more, you just gotta bring your game up a little bit, and I feel like I'm in a spot to where I can really improve in different spots. So
Okay.
Kind of piggybacking off of Aisha, and you have guys like, Stephon and Jordan who may not be here. Is that difficult for you to have to step up and take on, I guess, that leadership role? Or challenging, maybe?
I'm not gonna say difficult, because I'm a natural leader.
Yeah.
It's like in me. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I would say it would be a little bit different, but I'm a natural leader, so it's in me.
Piggybacking off of that. Sorry.
I don't know why we over here acting so polite, like we wasn't
I know.
cackling
I know.
before.
Piggybacking off
Don't
of
let
that.
them fool you.
Oh my gosh.
Don't put our business out there.
Obviously,
Cold coming up.
See, man, this is what we talk
No.
about.
Go ahead.
We can't do
Jasmine.
anything around
Go
here.
ahead, Jess.
Obviously, it's part of the business that retention isn't always guaranteed, and that means, you know, losing teammates, losing coaching staff, personnel, everything. Nothing is guaranteed. Out of, you know, all of the guys that are on the team with you or were this season, and the free agent list pretty long, does it ever, even though it's part of the business, is it ever difficult for you guys to know that, you know, your brothers, your teammates, your friends potentially couldn't be here next year?
Definitely. Man, we were just we was in the locker room at the end of the season, you know, thinking about that and stuff. I mean, because I come in and then all of the vets that are in front of me and some of my free agents now, I actually learned from them, and I got a lot of knowledge from them. So it does kind of hurt a little bit to know that they could be gone, they could be back. So it's just a like a sour feeling kind of, but you know, but like y'all said, it's a part of the business. So, you know,
As a player, how difficult is it to? Okay, so we talk about, you know, scheme changes and personnel changes and things like that. How difficult really is it to adjust to a new defensive scheme, or are there similarities in all of them?
so I can only answer that question from a standpoint from coming to college, learning a scheme that I was in last year, because this is this is gonna be my second year playing for real. So
It's different. For
I would say from college to now, it literally took me a year and a half to learn the scheme that we was in last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I feel like now that I have the knowledge that I know and stuff, and I feel like if, like, soon as we get a new coach, I feel like everybody's going to pick it up fast, because this league is like, everybody kind of like runs the same thing, but different like type of points and schemes in it. So, I would say it's not going to really be that hard. You just got to hone into the details for running.
Okay.
At Georgia Tech, did you have two different defensive coordinators, right? Your sophomore
Yes.
year?
Yeah, I had one my freshman year, and then from my sophomore year to my senior, I had the same one, so just two.
So were they kind of the same?
No.
So then how, I guess, will that help you as far as having to learn under a whole new defensive coordinator this offseason?
So honestly, you have to look at the scheme you was in last year, and then look at the new scheme and go over it and be like, okay, this person is doing the same thing here, so this is a similar coverage. So you just have to look at the spots that are different, and then learn those spots, because you already know the spot that's the same.
Yeah.
So just look at the spots that are different, and then keep practicing, studying, and then, I mean.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dan Quinn no longer here. In Washington, of all places, you were a little cryptic with your tweeting, and I think people thought you were trolling. But in all seriousness, as a player who's worked with Dan Quinn, you know, since your time coming here, how difficult is this really for you personally as a player to know that he's not going to be here anymore?
So coming in my first year playing, and like DQ was one of them guys that like really like pushed me. So same with Coach Witt. Like those two really like pushed me. Like they were never easy on me, simply because they wanted me to be that great player. It's tough to see him gone, but I mean, like I said, it's a business, and those are two great coaches. And DQ was my dude for real. He was meeting with me, just going over the things he wanted me to do. He was making different packages for me and stuff to get me on the field. So I don't know, I respect him, and I wish him the best for real. So
Michael
Same.
my bad. Michael always talks about how DQ was like a coach, but he was also a friend, kind of like
An
like
uncle.
Jess was saying, like a uncle brother,
a brother.
Oh,
a
like,
brother.
well, brother.
Like, nah,
Tater tots.
Yeah.
seriously, like obviously he's our coach and he coached us hard.
Yeah.
But when we got in that room, he was a brother to us. Like
Wow.
everything we felt, he felt everything he felt. We felt. So it's like, I don't know, he had that bond with every player, and then as a practice squad guy last year, he has that bond with guys that are not playing either. Like he treats everybody the same, literally, and that's why everybody in the room loves him. So everybody in the room is gonna always have respect. So
How much of a loss is that for this whole defense?
it's a tough loss. It's a tough loss. But, like I said, we got to flip the page now, and focus on the future. So
I have a question about just your position and what you do. I'm into the draft stuff and working the draft stuff, and what is interesting to me is just how when you're backpedaling in the hip flip. And I've been wanting to ask more players that play DB, how do you maintain the elasticity in your hips? Like, what are the things that you do to maintain your flexibility and to, to stay loose and fluid? Because it's just one of those things that, especially with a DB, it can go. And so how do you maintain it? What are some of the things that you work on, that you do?
It really starts in the offseason. It's repetition in your drills to put yourself through them moments to where whenever the season comes, you already got it down. Like, I would say you got to put yourself through hell in the off season of doing all the pedaling, flipping, and then when the season comes, you're already fluid. But I would say, like, honestly, you have to stretch for real. No, seriously, like it's like stretching for real. Because I remember it was during camp. I forgot to stretch before practice. I went out at practice and my hips were tight.
Ooh.
You feel what I'm saying? So, like, it's important to, like, stretch and stuff so, like, you can be fluid. So.
What do your off-season kind of workouts look like in order to do that? Do you do Pilates?
No, I do not. I tried that last year.
I'm just asking.
Listen.
No,
Nicole, I tried that
that's a good
last
question.
year. I'm not going back again. Nope.
It's no
Pilates?
joke.
I'm just asking. It's hard.
You know what?
It's hard.
You know why it's hard for men? And I found this out when I was in the military. A lot of that stuff is hard because we be cheating. And no
How
offense,
we be cheating?
women we be cheating because of our pelvic floor. Like, because a lot of our pelvic floors are stronger. Like, even when I was in the military,
Cheating
like,
workouts.
there were stop it. There were males that couldn't do more than 50 sit-ups.
Oh,
and
wow.
the women could just
Really?
kill them because we would use our hip. Yeah, we use our hips to follow
sounds like
through.
a personal
So yeah, y'all just babies.
And I ask about yoga, and because I really didn't know this until last off season, talking to Tyler Biotish, actually, who is like the biggest yogi. So I
Yogi
tried to
Bear.
get Yogi Bear to stick for him because I think that's like
That's what she
perfect.
call it.
Yogi Bear.
He do like a yogi bear.
He does.
Okay,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
it would
I'm
stick.
sorry.
But is there is there anything specifically that you change in season, off season? Because obviously there's more time to do it. You have to stay in football shape. How do you stay in football shape when you're not here every day and you're not consistently practicing? Because there's a difference between in shape and football shape.
So I go train at a training facility with my trainer at APEC. We do a lot of football movements, and it's not more so like conditioning running, because the game of football isn't really conditioning running. It's like movements, drills. Like, you got to keep doing it and keep doing it to make yourself tired. I do yoga. I get in a sauna. I force myself to sweat to where I get really, really tired in there, and I do abs in there. So my little routine is like really simple to stay in shape. I don't do all the extra stuff that doesn't have to deal with ball, because at the end of the day, when you come back on that field, it's about football.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not about all the extra training stuff that you did. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not that type of dude to do all that type of training. So I just focus on the stuff that I need to work on to help me when I'm on the field.
I kind of want to go back to what you were saying about the vets that you kind of leaned on during the season. What's the biggest thing that you've taken away from any of those guys?
Man, repetition and film watching and being vocal. So rookie year, practice squad, when coach put me in, I wasn't as loud. And watching them, like, if you watch the ones at practice, they're yelling.
It's communication.
They're like yelling, oh, right, left, middle, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And I had to take that up to another notch.
Yeah.
So learning from them, communication in this league is key. So that's what I learned from the vets, and I learned how to network too
That's a good one.
from them. So
That's a really good one.
don't start.
I'm sorry.
She will. She will start.
Because I just think That's
a really
so
good
important.
one.
Yeah.
I just think there's
It
so
is.
much. That's one thing about this generation of players that I really appreciate is that so many of y'all understand that there's life after football,
Yep.
and prioritizing that and doing things to set yourself up for success when it's all said and done. Because the reality is like when your career's over, yeah, you're not gonna be old necessarily.
right.
You're gonna be young to a lot of people's
Yep.
standards. So you still have so much life to live. So I love hearing that you guys are networking. I did want to ask Trayvon Diggs. You know, we were out without him last season. Felt like you really did miss his presence on the field. I know you guys are in separate rooms, but you're still a DB. Have you guys connected through his rehab at all? And how do you think it's going with him from the outside looking in?
Watching him do rehab, he looks great. Like he looks good. And from a personal level, I'm close to Diggs because we got the same agent. So
Okay,
it's like
good. That's cool.
so yeah. So just watching him work and him working with a smile really makes everybody in the building happy and stuff. Because Diggs comes in the meetings, come here and smile. So we
Yeah,
are
that crazy smile, though.
literally ready for him to be back. So
Yeah.
he's in good spirits.
He got that crazy smile though, where he's, you know, he's
mischievous.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you know he's quiet.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
quiet and all
Yeah.
this stuff, and then you see him on the field, and you like, oh, nah, like, this man's a little crazy out here.
You also can't help but smile when your son is Aiden Diggs.
Yeah,
the
he's
star,
star.
Aiden Diggs.
That boy Aiden, that man is probably
handful.
the smartest child
Yeah.
I have ever been around.
Wow.
Ever.
He's very articulate.
He's smart, and he's like his words.
Yeah,
He's using words that I've never used in my life. So
that sounds like
what?
Aiden.
Like what words? Sorry.
mind your business.
Yeah, I know. Be specific. Use it in a sentence. Nicole,
Give me the definition. Spell it out.
Exactly.
Please. Are we on a
He
spell
tried
bee
to get
now?
me with the workout joke. He was trying
You
to
know,
be funny, so I had
I
to.
didn't see you.
You
First of all,
Children.
I looked at you. I didn't say nothing.
all y'all do is fight. All y'all do is fight.
She be skipping workouts. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't.
Shots fired.
I work out at F45 daily.
Pew 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 pew.
We do see those posts.
Yeah,
Thank
pictures.
you.
I do see it.
Pictures of
Because
in the mirror,
in
not
the
working. You
bonnet-
see what I'm saying?
I mean, it's after the workout. You can't take the videos while
Look.
you're working out. That means you're not really working out.
Do y'all hear them shots
Oh
being
my
fired right
gosh.
now? Let's take cover.
Okay, I have 2 questions for you.
You're such a hater to me.
I don't know who that was for.
All that
don't know
commentary that she gonna do it to me.
Oh, she did.
Tired.
Jazzy.
All right, Juanyeh, I have 2 questions for you. One, I kind of want to go back to personnel changes, coaching changes, all of that. What are some, I guess, characteristics that you are looking for in potentially new coaching staff coming in? For you as a player, what's something that you really value in a coach?
To be hard on his players. So, and I feel like that's one of the greatest traits DQ had, was the trait to be hard on you and love you. So that's important, and I love hard coaching because like it pushes me.
Yeah.
And I don't get in my feelings about it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was raised by my mom. My mom was hard on me like every single day growing up, but it pushed me to be the best. So I love hard coaching, so that's just one of the traits for real.
Yeah,
Have
the
you
best
loved
players
that?
want to be. So the best players do want to be coached.
Yeah.
From what I've learned, is
Yep.
like y'all do continuously want that input, that reassurance that you're doing things right, but you also want to be told when you're doing something wrong so you can correct it. So
Right.
that's good to
Yeah.
hear.
My second question, Super
bad,
Bowl
my bad.
weekend, the big game. Who are you going for?
Look.
I honestly
I
don't
know.
care
Right.
about neither teams.
I know.
Period.
To
Look.
be honest,
So are you
Yeah.
saying your team Taylor Swift?
No,
Please, we're not doing
we're
that.
not doing this.
I'm
today.
doing that today.
We're not
Taylor
doing this.
Swift. I'm listen.
Or are you watching for the halftime show at this point? It's gonna be great. Usher.
Usher?
Yeah.
I'm there.
Commercials?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what that was.
I'm not watching it though. I'm gonna be doing some other stuff with my time. So
Good.
That's fine.
Love that.
yeah.
Usher was so important to us millennials, childhood.
Vital.
I cannot. miss it.
Vital to like middle school dances.
You don't
Hold on.
understand.
That is very
Hold
true.
on. Repeat what you just said.
Usher was too pivotal to us millennials' childhood.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
not missing it. That's
Okay.
what I said.
Okay.
Like middle school
Dang.
dances. She's You're
take a
really getting
breather.
her in her feelings
Confessions had us all in shambles,
That
and
is
we didn't
true.
know nothing about love. Nothing.
For the people that don't know what that song is, can you sing it for them?
No.
No, because you
can't
get a
sing it.
copyright.
Because of copyright.
Never mind.
Yeah, 'cause he trying to get me
He is.
flamed and
He is.
fired.
100%.
God dang,
100%.
they not gonna get me.
He was finna get you.
I know I was about to do it.
We saved you. You're welcome.
Well,
We'll post a video of it later.
We gotta do the phone. We gotta do the phone thing and everything.
wait,
Hello?
what phone thing? You know what? The door?
Stop playing with me.
Oh,
use it?
wow.
All right, on that note, we're going to take our first break. Up next, we'll be talking and breaking down the options for the next hire for defensive coordinator. You're watching Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang, burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that sixth ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys Game Time, powered by Lenovo, the official gaming platform and community of the Dallas Cowboys. Sign up now to compete in Fortnite for a chance to win a VIP experience at the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Draft Party. Qualifiers begin on February 24th and run through the 28th. Learn more and register at DallasCowboys.com. DallasCowboysGameTime.com. There we go.
There we go. You got it, girl. You got it.
Sorry, we're only doing this once a week. We're a
Right?
little rusty. That's
We are a
fine.
little rusty.
No, really, though.
Sorry, y'all.
Because some of them pauses, we was like,
I'm sorry. No, look.
that was me too.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm be really
Same.
honest with you guys. That was not the read I was supposed to read,
Barnacles.
so I skipped over.
Concaf.
That's what I was
until you
waiting
just said
for.
it.
I like to be honest.
That's true.
I like
Juanyeh
some
was
honesty.
honest.
Juanyeh was honest.
He said,
Exactly.
I don't care about neither one of
Yeah.
these.
Look,
Felt.
here's the thing.
Felt.
Here's the thing.
As he should, though. As he
It's-
shouldn't.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, and I think any player that's not in the Super Bowl feels that way.
A lot of them do. And especially since I even mentioned on the draft show the other day, I did not know that the Super Bowl was this, like, grand event like this.
Yeah.
I mean, they doing these interviews. They're, like, it's
a
just,
whole,
it's
like-
so much going
Yeah.
on right now. I was not prepared for... I feel like maybe it's always been like this. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Has it always been like this, where it's this spectacle?
I don't
How
think
do
I've
the
ever
players
paid
stay
attention
locked
to it.
in?
Like, yeah, I don't think I've ever paid attention to it until obviously this
Maybe
year.
that's
I
fair.
only paid attention to
Yeah.
the game.
I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like because we're a little bit more in the media realm, to know so many people that are there is one thing. I know for me personally, I'm like, dang, everyone's there.
That makes sense.
But also, it's in Vegas. Vegas is flashy. Vegas is more, I don't know,
Grand.
if you will. Did
Wow.
my mic go off?
You're right.
Hello?
We both said grand at the same time.
Grand.
Oh.
No, but it's going to be more flashy being in
Okay.
Vegas as it is.
That makes sense, because I was definitely like,
I was too, and I had to think
is
about
this
it.
normal, y'all?
I was like, why is this so blown up this year? And again, it's the Super Bowl, and I understand the storylines going into it, whatever. But I thought about it. I was like, it has to be because it's Vegas.
That makes sense.
That
Okay.
also just makes it a little more blown up.
And one of those big events, Marquise Bell is actually being recognized as HBCU Player of the
Yep.
Year.
Come
at the
on.
Super Soul Bowl. So
Love
shout out to
that.
him.
Yes.
Ring
Be
the
representing the
bell.
Cowboys.
Worked his
Wish
tail
we had a
off.
bell.
I told him I was going to make a bell. I will make a Girls Talk Boys Talk Marquise Bell.
I can't wait. Speaking of, I mean, I know we're about to talk about other coaches, but could be seeing him move back to his original position, and I think that's very healthy for him.
Yes.
He did everything he could to fulfill what they asked him to do this year. They asked a lot of him, especially physically. So I am happy that he has the possibility to maybe do some linebacker things, but to be able to show what he can do as a safety, because that is where he really thrives, especially in coverage. So happy for him, and HBCU players stand up.
Yeah, no, that was something I thought about too, is where he will be, you know, and how the new coaching staff that comes in can utilize him.
Yeah, I think
because I think it'll be dependent on that, maybe a little bit of what he wants, and how much weight he puts on in the offseason, I think could dictate a lot as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's not doing linebacker stuff, they're not going to want him.
Yeah, he doesn't
the
need
size
to.
that he is now for a safety is he's big. Yes. But if he's doing linebacker stuff, then obviously it matters. But I will say it also is contingent on personnel, because J-Ron Kearse is a gentleman that I don't know if he's going to be returning or not, based on the fact that they did guarantee his money last year, which I thought was nice. That was cool. I was like, okay, well, I guarantee him his money then. Do the thing. So I will see if he is maybe going to be doing some more of some of those things, depending on what happens with the personnel and things like that. You are going to have Malik Hooker. And
Dono,
and then we just talked to Juanyeh, who's trying to find spots on the field as well. So safety room is still pretty sturdy to me. I think we do still have some guys that can go back there and play the game at a high level. So that's one of the positions that not so worried about going into the offseason, which is a blessing.
Yeah, well, this new defensive coordinator, whoever the Cowboys end up going with, will have a lot to handle when he comes in. Speaking of, and kind of switching gears, the options, well, few guys have come in for interviews, Rex Ryan, Mike Zimmer, and then you also have from inside Aiden Dirty. When you talk about these three
Rivera
options,
too.
and Ron Rivera. Ooh,
And then the gentleman, what's the Jets DB coach? Safety coach, rather.
yes.
Yeah. Just out of those,
They're just popping up
options,
everywhere.
That was a
which
surprise.
one do you feel would fit the best when you come into this Cowboys defense?
Man,
I'm gonna say
Zimmer.
and it's just because of the familiarity, and I do think that one thing that I think Cowboys fans really struggle with is the idea of, and I mentioned on Twitter, is like, I think people are kind of afraid of an older coach because of how modern the NFL is now from an offensive standpoint. I think Zimmer has gotten a little bit of a bad rep in that regard. Doing some research on him, listening to some of my guys and their film breakdowns of him, is that he is able to adjust. He will play the matchup game. He also, too, is a hard coach, like Juanyeh said, and this defense specifically, one of the most penalized defenses in the NFL consistently. We talked about how much that hurt this team and when it hurt this team. We're looking for a coach to come in here to really hone in on that discipline. But also, too, he took a year off. He's had a year off, rather. Not from the NFL, I'll say. To kind of shore up his eyes and maybe find some things in his game. I know for a fact, I don't know about any other person, but sometimes taking some time off and taking a step back to see things for what they are is helpful. So maybe that will help him coming in, but he does have a good, listening is so many character witnesses too. I've been listening to on Radio Row and stuff, them talking about, hey, how do you feel about Zimmer? A lot of people who are familiar with him feel confident in his ability to come in and hone in on the details, and also to be that coach to lean on like some of these players need. I feel like he definitely would be the best fit as of right now.
And one thing that you always hear from guys that played under Dan Quinn this season, they always talk about how he's brought out the best of them. And that's something that I feel like Zimmer has done when you go back to the Vikings and his previous time here in Dallas. He's brought out the best of his guys. And when you're talking about a guy who has NFL experience and has been under coaches with a lot of success, I feel that just brings a lot more to this Cowboys team previously.
yeah, and I'm not agreeing just to agree with you guys. That's pretty much just doing the research and the options. Something that I think needs to be discussed more concerning Mike Zimmer, I shouldn't say concerning, regarding Mike Zimmer, is you said familiarity. The first thing that came to my mind is, yes, he has familiarity with the Cowboys, but he also has familiarity with how this is run, with how the front office runs things, because he's done it before. And so I think that when you're talking in terms of familiarity, yes, he was here years ago, and I'm just being nice by wording it that way. But that doesn't mean that he has a disadvantage with that, because yes, a lot has changed since then, obviously, personnel, coaches, all of that. But I'm saying, you know what has not changed? Front office. That has not changed.
Yeah.
And he knows how to operate and work within that. So I think that's a very important aspect and part of working with this kind of team, is you have to know how to get along in that manner, and you have to know how to operate and do your job successfully within it. So I think that experience, on top of all the other experience he's had since then, especially going on with the Vikings, I think, again, I'm not agreeing just to agree.
No.
I think he's the best option.
No, that's a good point to make about knowing how to navigate this front office, because they are a lot more present, vocal, open than a lot of other teams experience. So it is something to have to adjust to and get used to, and I mean, honestly, accept if you're going to come over here. So,
exactly.
No, I thought that was a fantastic point that you made. I'm trying to find this man's name. He's the safety coach for the Jets. And I'm trying to find him because they said that they wanted to interview him today, if I'm not mistaken. And I feel terrible that I did not write down his name.
Quinn Manuel?
They might be. Yeah, that's it.
I don't want to pronounce his name. It's Marquand Manuel? Marquand?
Yeah.
I apologize if I get this name incorrect.
Marquand Manuel. Yeah, Marquand Manuel. He coached the Jets, some of the Jets secondary, but primarily their safeties. We know that secondary has had some players the last couple years, and they have the ability to take the ball away. They seem well coached, so I think it's cool that the Cowboys are opening up things there, but I'm really looking for them to.
Well, if you're talking about when Jerry,
and wrap it up.
Wrap it up. And Jerry, if he wants to go all in, I mean, you gotta weigh out your options. And when Aisha always talks about you need to bring in a guy who can handle these Shanahan tree offenses. I mean, do you feel like Zimmer is that right one? I mean, he's had a lot of success against.
He's had some success, but we if you want to go back to it, that Zimmer man is the one that's. I think he's had one of the best records against them for quite some time, and I think partially is because he worked with the Shanahan, the OG Shanahan. So I know he probably has some tricks up his sleeve, and that's what I've been begging, praying for. I'm like, yes, I know Wink Martindale's another gentleman that they sounded like they were interested in the conversation. Rather, I like some of what Wink does. I felt like he did some good things for the Giants. Like, despite the fact they lost some pieces, they're waiting for some guys to develop. You talk about getting the best out of your players. I think he got the best out of a lot of those Giants defenses, and he a little bit more. He's a little off his handle when it comes to his blitz packages and some of the things he does. Yeah, he's
nice way to say it.
Nutty. That's what I was going.
Nah, he's different. He's
crazy.
Different when it comes to those things. So maybe you are looking for a little bit more stability in that regard, because even the Cowboys were heavy stunt, heavy twist type team. So maybe that's not an option as much, but I know he is a gentleman that is in the conversation. He has some experience in this league too. It's not nobody to snuff at.
I want to ask you guys, because I think Ron Rivera has a bit of a stigma that follows him from Washington because of kind of how Washington is now, but I don't think it was just a product of his head coaching abilities or lack of how people would want to say it. From what I've seen, and feel free to disagree, he would be a better DC than he would be head coach.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to clear that up, because I feel like a lot of people were quick to just disregard him as an actual candidate that could come in and make a difference. So I just wanted to open up the conversation today about, kind of this negative stereotype that's following him because of Washington and everything that happened there, but also, do you feel like he'd be more successful in a DC position?
When he was with the Bears in the early 2000s, top 3 offense in back-to-back year, defense in back-to-back years he was there. Chargers had a top 15 defense. So yeah, I mean, I certainly agree with you in the point that that he'd be a better DC than head coach. I don't know about you. How you?
I mean, some Some guys, I mean, respectfully, I kind of felt like that's how it was for Dan Quinn. I mean, he came here, he thrived as a DC, and he got that time to just kind of hone in on that. Because when you're a head coach, you're worried about a lot. You have your hands, and you're delegating a lot more. I think to simplify it and just to make it okay. This is your side of the ball. This is what you focus on. As far, I still have to do more research on Ron Rivera and what he does schematically and things like that. I know a lot of people's feelings about him too are because he hasn't coached a defensive side of the ball in a while, which brings me to even Rex Ryan, where it's like
that was shocking.
Yeah,
what's happening here? Now I will say,
shocking.
He was considering the Broncos job last season.
That's right.
So somebody ain't crazy. I mean, clearly he has the experience, and there's been other teams that have maybe looked at him as a viable option. Your run defense would be better, I could tell you that, because he's not gonna play about that. He's been vocal on TV about what he felt like personnel packages look like and defensive packages look like. Very vocal. So I do think he could bring that element of toughness and then help you in your run game. But I do think that, he has been out, like, these guys haven't coached. Some of these guys haven't coached in a long time, and a lot of coaching is feel and timing and things like that. So I do worry about that as well.
Do you guys feel like, sorry, one more question, and maybe we can answer it after the break, something to simmer on. Do you feel like the Cowboys need to ride this youth wave that we seem to see in these offseason coaching hires across the league, or are you okay with maybe an older, more experienced coach coming in?
Older, more experienced. You gotta go all in this year.
There you go.
If you have,
I was gonna be like, we'll find out after the break, but
I don't know if you got.
You were quick with that.
I mean, Jerry Jones is talking about going all in. So I mean, if you're gonna go all in, then you need to prove that and bring in a guy who has more experience, who has been around success, and that's how you get it done. Even
if it's somebody that's been removed from coaching, like somebody like Rex Ryan, is there a middle?
That's a stretch.
But I'm just at like what. At what point is, age not an advantage? Or does it get to that point?
I do think it gets to that point, because when you look at these, if you look at some of the better defenses, a lot of those guys are ran by, the position coaches are former players. True. And I do think there's something to players looking at a guy that they're being coached by and saying, he's done this before. He's been here before. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. I think that's some of what you see from D'Amico Ryans even as a head coach. They're like, oh, this dude he feels us. He knows what we really go through. Yeah. And I do think there is a little bit of and this is something, like, I do think there's a bit of a generational divide. You have to learn these. I know that they're football players, but sometimes you got to take a step back and say, have you talked to a 23, 22, 24-year-old person these days, a man these days? Like, they, like, in general, just young people in general, I do think there's a way to approach them and speak to them and even coach them now that may be different than what you did 5-10 years ago. So to your point, I do think that there is something to be said about the age gap and the experience and things like that. But you are in a position to where you got a quarterback that's 30. Yeah. You need to come on with it. And the head coach wasn't signed for another season after this season. That matters when you start talking about this conversation as well. When you talk about, I mean, we've seen what's happening in Washington. Eric Bieniemy didn't get it. They said, you can go to the house, boss. That's how it happens in this league sometimes when you don't have a good year. So you also have to consider that some of these coaches might be looking like, I could possibly just be here a year. Some of them might look at it as a good thing. Like, okay, well, I got a nice roster, I can make something happen. But some of them might be like, hey, I don't know if I can sacrifice my stability, my family, and all those things to come here for one season. Yeah. So there's a lot of conversation to be had, but I do think the teams that are trending towards having former players coach, you are starting to see some success there. And I think a lot of it is the relatability to the players that matters in this generation specifically.
We're going to take our next break. The Cowboys have 16 free agents coming up soon. We don't get the final say, but we're going to play a little cool game of start and cut coming up right here after the break. You're watching Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back.
Yeehaw.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that 6th ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Nations League finals are coming to AT&T Stadium. Don't miss your chance to watch North America's best soccer teams battle it out in the semifinals on March 21st. Then see who lifts the trophy in the championship on March 24th. Did I say 21st? Anyways, 24th. Tickets are available now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium. So go get them.
All right, we're about to play a cool little game. It's called Start or Cut.
All right.
Actually, shout out to one of the fans because he asked a question. It was sit, start, or cut.
Oh, it was Mike.
Okay.
Mike
shout out
from
to
the
Mike.
UK. We love Mike.
Shout out to Mike. So I'm gonna
former
shorten it,
coworker
though.
with Blogging the Boys.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Love
gonna
him.
shorten it and just say start or cut.
All right.
'cause that's
Shout
what
out
it's
to Mike.
looking
We
like
love him.
coming up soon. All right. I'm gonna give y'all two options.
Nervous laugh.
I'm gonna give y'all two options. Decide whether you'll start or cut this person.
Man. But can we sit some people? Because some people just need to sit down.
No, pretend you're Jerry Jones
Pretend
and you're signing or you're not.
All right, bet. And they may or may not be in the same position group. Okay, cool.
All right.
Bet. Start or cut, Aisha? I'm stressing you out already. I know.
Starter cut Aisha?
No.
I was about to say, dang, send me to the house.
No. Starting with Aisha.
Cut.
Go. Jonathan Hankins. You're silly. Jonathan Hankins.
Start. Oh, sorry.
Or Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on,
Don't
man.
do this. Nicole, I'm about to walk out this door right
I'm
here.
sorry. It's start or cut.
All
I
right.
think we should start. Do it by position. Do it by
No,
position.
she's being mean. All right.
I can't answer that. Both of them gonna. I mean,
Okay, look, I'll take both of them
Okay,
and I'll have to cut. I'll cut another pair that you have.
No,
You know what I mean?
can't do that. You gotta
Why?
choose.
Okay,
I don't
fine.
think you can choose.
I would cut Gilly.
Oh,
Because think about who we got in nose tackle. We need Hank.
Okay.
Can they hear you, Jessie?
Yes,
Right?
they can.
Oh, I love that. Our girl.
Right?
Yes,
I love that. I
Jazzy.
love her.
yes, you do need McHank.
I know.
Does that change things? But does that change things for? I don't know, because even when I mentioned about Trayvon, like, he's gonna need some time.
Yeah, it takes about a year to come back from an ACL.
It's gonna take some. He's gonna need
But
some
around
time.
what time should we expect Trayvon to be back on the field? Midway
well,
through the season?
It won't be Terrence Steele time.
You
I'll
have,
tell you that,
you have to
'cause
remember he
he's
got
not
injured
offensive
in
lineman.
end of September.
Mm-hmm.
So,
December.
I mean,
maybe
I think by the
December.
time
November. Maybe
Really?
That's a
November.
long time.
I think by the time September rolls around, being a year out from his injury,
He'll be
I don't know.
moving.
I'm not a medical professional. I'm
No.
just saying, it. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna say Hank only because, yes, what Jazzy said, but also the development it takes for NT. So even Mozzie Smith, where he is now going into year 2, having year 1 under his belt to learn and grow. Jonathan Hankins said it took him about 3 years to get to a very comfortable position in NT. So even if you draft another one, you acquire one in free agency, it's maybe younger, you still need that experience in that room. So I'm going to say Hank. But man, you still want Gilly as well.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to. But I totally forgot. Gilly's coming off shoulder surgery. He may
That
not
too.
even be ready
Yep.
to start the season
Yep.
because he had
Alright.
that shoulder
That's good.
injury late in the season.
That's a
so
good point.
Well, I'm gonna go Hankins, and
I'm gonna go Gilly.
I'm gonna go Hankins only because
going Gilly?
your priority is stopping the run
gonna
this
be
year.
ready.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be ready. He's not gonna be ready for the. He got hurt late.
You said so you're going with Gilly.
I'm cutting Gilly.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. I thought you were
alright.
saying you were sticking
Yeah,
with Gilly.
same.
Oh,
All
it
right.
hurt.
I know.
I
Sorry,
know.
Gilly. We're sorry.
Yeah, I was going Hankins though because your priority is stopping the run
Correct.
this year.
Correct.
So I mean,
Correct.
as much as I'd hate to lose Gilly,
Yeah.
I'm
Same.
gonna cut Gilly.
All right.
All right, start or cut. Dang, we over already.
Sorry.
Start
no
or
explanations.
cut.
We'll just we'll go.
Tony Pollard or yeah, I'm stressing you.
I already got stressed.
Or Tyler Biotish. I know. I'm sorry.
The center draft, the center classes, it's real nice. Tyler,
Sorry, B.
you gotta go.
Okay.
Gotta go.
I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna say you cut TP.
All right.
Oh,
I know.
That
I
hurt
hate
my
that. I hate this game.
All right. Start or cut. Dorrance Armstrong or Jordan Lewis.
Cut Dorrance.
Dorrance. And I say that because, Jordan Lewis is. We just talked about because
Exactly.
also too, if Gilly's gone,
Exactly. You need
you're gonna have to
J.
move-
Lou.
Lou.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to move Duran back out unless they grab it.
Move
Yeah.
J. Lou back in. Yep. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Last one. Start or cut. J-Ron or Rico.
Cut Rico.
I was going J-Ron.
Sorry, Rico. You
Oh,
know,
Aisha, you're not getting away with this one. You tried.
Here's
to
the
be
thing.
Well,
slick.
because the real answer is that I think they're both not going to be here. So I think it's going to be a lot of changes in that running back room. They have to refurbish that running
Yeah.
back room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
all right.
all right.
Well,
Pain.
what's your answer? Both? You cut
Oh,
both?
goodness.
I think this was going to happen anyway.
Oh, shoot. All right.
All right. Well, on that note, that's a wrap for Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw.
Make me the bad
preferred
guy.
dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!